Welcome back everyone to the Blender Creator course, Stylized 3D Models, and this is where we left it off. Now at the moment, what we're using here, this shading panel, isn't really ideal for what we want to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull that down. I'm actually going to pull this then across. So if I grab down the bottom left hand side where the cursor is, I'm going to pull that across like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this out. And this should be UV editing. So if we come down here, UV editor wants to be ticked on. Now if I press tab, we will see, if I zoom out a little bit on this left hand side, everything opens up, which means I can alter the shader, I can see what I'm doing, and I can alter the UV map. So if I want to come in here, or 90 to spin it around to get it the right way, I can actually see what I'm doing, which is really, really great. Now the one thing that we're going to have is, let's just put that back a minute, because rather than spinning these round every single time, what we want to do is, we want to do this all from the shader. We also want to make sure that we're happy with how big the wood is. Now, you can do this on your actual, so on here, we can actually go in and alter these on here within the asset manager. But honestly, preferably, I like to do it on a project basis because these are really nice, but they might be the right way on another project. Now, if we turn these round on our project here, they'll be turned round for all of the parts within this project. So if I come in and I put the rotation, so let's turn the rotation round to 90. And let's also come in to the other one because we have two of these on this one. And we're going to turn the rotation around on this one to 90, like so. And then finally what I'm going to do is I'm going to also come in and make this scale a little bit bigger. Because what that'll do is it'll alter this UV map and make the scale bigger. So if I come in and I put this on, let's say 1.5. So you'll notice there, rather than go one by one, so if I put this on 1.5, you'll see that happens. But rather than do that, we need to alter all of these. So I'm just going to grab with left click, grab them all, pull your mouse down, and then put them all on 1.5. And there you go, it'll alter them all to 1.5. Now if we alter these all to 0.1, you'll see what happens. They get very, very blurred. So that's why I'm putting it on 1.5, and I think 1.5 is actually going to be really, really nice for us. So let's now come in to this one, and let's put those on 1.5 as well. Now, the one problem you're going to have is when you've changed these all to 1.5, you're going to have some repeat. We don't actually want repeating. So what we want to do is maybe turn it to 1.2 or something like that, just so we don't get these repeating. So let's put it on 1.2, like so, and let's also put the next bit, so this bit here, on also 1.2, like so. And now we're not going to get as much repeating. We are still going to get a little bit, but not as much. And now what we can do is we can come in, press G, once we've grabbed it all, and move it around a little bit. And now you'll see very, very little repeating. There's a little bit here and there, but not as much as we did have. So that's looking pretty nice. Now what we need to do is we need to basically do the same thing on these other ones. So what I can do is, instead of going through all that, what I can do is I can come in, grab all of these, like so. And then what I want to do is I want to basically put this material from here onto these. So if I come into this one, I can press Ctrl L, copy or link materials, and there we go. Now they all look the same at the moment. What I'm going to do is come into this one. I'm going to make sure I've grabbed it all with A, U, Smart UV Project, click OK. And there you go. Now we can see we've got wood that's looking similar but different to this one. Now I'm going to come to this one and I'm just going to do the same thing. So U, Smart UV Project, like so. And the reason I'm doing them individually and not all together is because if I do them all together, it will take up a lot of UV space. At the moment, if you click on that one, you can see it's took up this UV space. If I click on all of these and press A, U, Smart UV Project, click OK, you'll see now it's took all of the UV space up. So all of that space now has been taken up. You can do that. You just need to be careful that these still look the same resolution as the ones that you've not done. Now let's do these last two here. So I'm going to grab them both. U, Smart UV Project, click OK, tab, double tap the A, and there we go. Now let's have a look at what this looks like in material view. So there we go, this is in material view. Now the one thing that you do have to be you have to consider, maybe if you was doing this, is just that the wood grain is going a certain way. So in some projects you might want that wood grain on the ends of these blocks of wood to be going a certain way. Luckily for us on this one, we're going to be using these and turning them around and things like that, which is going to mean that it doesn't really matter which way this is going. On these buildings, they're not all going to be going the same way. It's just not how they would work. All right, so I think I'm happy with all these woods. I think I'm happy with them. You know, are they bent enough? That's the question that you need to ask yourself before you actually want to start building with them. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to bend them around a little bit. So the final thing to do before finishing is if you come in and you grab one like there, put on this little button here, which is called proportional editing. So if you click that on, come down then, so click it on, come down to where it says connected only on, because we don't want to alter the other woods around it, and then put it on random. And then what you're going to do is just going to press 1, and you're going to press shift spacebar because I've gone into a new shading tab. So I'm going to put move on, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick this up and pull it out, and you'll see what that does. You want to be very, very gentle with this. Very, very slowly pull it up like so, just to make them a little bit more bent. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in to all of these. I'm going to grab this one here, this one here, this one here, and then Alt Shift click this one here. I'm going to press 1, and I'm just going to pull them up very, very gently like so. Maybe a little bit down as well. Let's pull them down. And let's have a look what they're looking at. And it might feel like it's taken a long time to do just these bits of wood, but once you've actually got them, you'll see it's absolutely worth doing this. So there we go, double tap the A, and now let's come to these parts. So we'll alter this one first, pull it up a little bit, alter this one, maybe a little bit too much, like so. Let's come into this one then. Like so. And remember, the other thing is that because we've done these, we're not going to just use these for one project. We can use these for as many projects as we have. Wherever we want stylized wood, we can use these pieces of wood, and that's another reason why we're really taking our time with making these. Okay, so now let's go over to our asset manager, and what we're going to do is in this actual scene, we're going to press the plus. So I'm going to press plus, and I'm going to call this wooden, I think they're called wooden blocks. So we'll call them wooden blocks like so. And now what I'm going to do is, and first of all, I'm going to come over, grab one of them because I know where they are. If I press dot, then it'll take me to all my wooden blocks, which are here. And then what I can do is I can come down, grab them all, right click, mark as asset, and then it's going to load them all in. And then finally, I want to come down to unassigned. And let's have a look, see if they're in here. So I think on this, actually, it's going to be the current file. And here's all our blocks. So I kind of put them in the wrong place. And we can see this is what they're going to look like. Now, now you can see when I drag these out, I can just drag them out. Simple as this. I can actually have a 1 meter one if I want. And you can see just how easy it is to drag them out and how easy they all look different. Now, let's delete those out of the way. So because I need to put in the current file, I'll actually work with this current file. And what I'll do is I'll click plus, and I'll call them this one here, wooden blocks. Like so. And then what I'll do is now I'm going to go to unassigned. I'm going to drop them all in to wooden blocks. Like so. I'm going to go up to file, save, and there we go. Let this star disappear. Let's go back to modeling. And now all you want to do is you want to put these over here, just out of the way. Now make sure when you're moving them, don't move them with, you know, I don't want proportional editing on. So I'm just going to move them over there, like so. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press double tap the A, and there we go. There's our wooden blocks. The reason I've moved them out of there is in your asset manager, you need to have them in a file. And this is why you could take these and drop them in your asset manager instead, which might make it a bit easier to work with. In other words, if I grab all these, press Ctrl C, and then go to my asset manager, which is this one here, I can come in, Ctrl V, drop them in place, and here they are. They're in here as well. So then we could actually set these up in our asset manager over here as well, and then you can have access to them, again, the same way that you've got access to these materials and textures. So completely up to you how you want to do this. I'm going to delete those out of the way and just keep this clean. this part. And then what I might do in the future is I might put those in their own asset manager, because I like to have many different asset managers. Otherwise, I find like this asset manager, it's already at 3.37 gigabytes. They tend to get a little bit bloated, so I don't really want that. So what I tend to do is save my blend files that I'm using for Asset Manager and put them in the same folder. So as long as you can have many Blender files in the same folder, and then you'll have access to them. In other words, let's just open this. So you can see here, this is the 3D, where is it, setup. There we are. So this is the texture and geometry nodes. As long as I'm putting them in this setup, as long as I'm saving my Blender files in here, I will have access to them within the Asset Manager. All right, so I'm going to close that down. I'm going to actually close this down at the moment because I'm not going to need access to this anymore. So let's close it down. Let's just save it out. And now what I can do is I can actually start building with these. So I'll put this on material, double tap the A, and now I'll just show you quickly just one that I can bring in. So if I go to Asset Manager now, come over here, let's put it on wooden blocks. Let's pick a 2.5 meter one, shift spacebar, move, and now I can actually put it into place wherever I want it. And obviously what I'm trying to do there is I'm trying to put them in the place of where these cracks are, and I can actually start building this out. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually, on the next lesson, I'm just going to delete that. On the next lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to make the other bits of wood that are going to be these ones down here that are going to have those blocks of stone in them, and then we can actually start with the supports as well. So what we should have by the end, before we actually start, we should have some walls, we should have our wood, and we should have the posts that are going to go down there, and everything is going to be put in an Asset Manager, so we can just drag, drop, and really start building this fast. As you can see, it's really slow to start with, but the pace will be so fast. Once we've got these in, it'll be incredible, trust me. All right, everyone, so I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.